Hello, what's up guys? In today's video we're gonna go over Forest from HackTheBox. Let me see if I can switch the tab into right here. And it is a retired machine, but we chose it specifically because it has to do with Active Directory, which you guys know I am practicing as I am taking OSCP in a couple weeks or in a month or two. I don't know, I haven't decided yet exactly when to take it, but sometime soon. So we're gonna see that we're gonna get initial foothold, something kind of similar like the room in Try Hack Me with ASREProasting, but I don't want to leak too much, like give out too much information. So let's head straight into it. First, let's copy the IP and let's copy it into our notes. So let's start Sublime. Let's not download the update right now, and we probably have some information we can delete, and there we go, we have the IP. So now we're gonna do a port scan. I did it already for you guys, so you guys don't have to wait for that whole process. So we're gonna do tag P for all ports. It's gonna scan all 65,500. I forgot how many ports. We're gonna have verbose, and we're gonna save it to a file named ports. And we see some interesting ports here. We see what's it called? I'm so sorry. I just DNS. We see Kerberoasting. We see RDP. We see SMB. We see LDAP. We see WinRM. We see a bunch of ports we're familiar with, right? A bunch of ports that we also enumerated in the last video. So if we want a more how do I say this? A deeper scan, as we can say, we can enumerate services, their versions of the software or services that are running on these ports, and then we can use default scripts to these are default scripts that Nmap has to find maybe usernames, vulnerabilities in these specific services or software. So we can start by, we see the domain name right here is HackTheBox local. You would want to put that in your Etsy host. I already have it here, as I already did this, already went over the room, but let's copy that into our notes. Okay, so just unlike the last video, we're gonna go over enumerating SMB first, as in that's a port that we're really familiar with. So for this, we're gonna use for Linux tag A, and then we're gonna specify the IP. Let's grab that real quick and do that. And while that's running, we can also check if there's null authentication or anonymous login with the tag N flag. Tag N. And it looks like we do not have anonymous login. That's unfortunate. So another thing we can do is we can, while this is running, we can enumerate LDAP. And if you guys see me looking at the right, it's because I am looking at my notes. So we're gonna do LDAP search. We're gonna do tag H, the IP, tag X, tag S, base, and then naming context. Oops. Context. There you go. So it's gonna be DC HackTheBox local. That's just to confirm. And we are indeed. Let's replace this. There we go. So now let's say we want to enumerate users via LDAP, right? Let's search that up real quick. LDAP enumerate users, and there's a bunch of articles, and the first one that comes up, we see that it's LDAP search. Oh, I think this is based on this actual machine. It is not a walkthrough, but it has the coincidentally the same IP. So let's copy this, and we can just paste it, and here we go. We see a whole bunch of usernames. So based on the last video, guys, what do we do when we have a bunch of usernames? This is basically, you know what I'm saying, this is basically easy for us, as to say the least. Like, this is an easy entry point, initial foothold. So now if we pivot a little bit, we can come back and look at for Linux, and we see that if we scroll up, it exposes the groups and a whole bunch of users again here. So both of these services spit out all the users in the domain. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to save it into a file, users text, all the important usernames, SVC Alfresco, administrator, Santi, Mark, Andy, Lucinda, everybody. And we're going to want to check if there's any accounts that do not require or do not have pre-authentication enabled. So we're going to harvest the non-pre-auth ASREPRoast response. We're going to do that, let's go to locate Impacket. It has a nice tool. And then let's cd into, we don't need to change their directories into it, but we could do that regardless. Examples. Okay, so we're gonna use get npu users, right? Yeah. So if we read a little bit about this, I think we went over this. We can see, where is it? Is it here? Impacket get NP users. Get NP user will attempt to harvest this non-pre-auth ASK response for a given list of usernames. These responses will be encrypted with the user's password, which they can be cracked offline. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to copy the command right off of my notes, and it's going to look something like this. We're going to specify the domain, the file where the user list is located, which is in home mech HackTheBox at forest, exactly here. The domain, the IP of the domain, we have no password, and we want to save it to hashcat format so we're able to crack it, obviously with hashcat. So it's going over the accounts. These accounts do not have UF, don't require pre-auth set, and unfortunately SVC Alfresco does. So that's easy. I mean, SVC Alfresco, you guys got to take care of your accounts. So now let's save this hash into a file, mousepad svc.hash, and we can save that. Now if you want to confirm what type of hash it is, oops, we can copy this first, and then go into hashcat examples. From here, command F, and then we can paste that, and it's mode 18,200, and it's a Kerberoasting 5 hash. So in order to crack it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use hashcat, and then let's specify the mode, which is 1800, and I'm just gonna copy this from my notes. Mode 1800, we're gonna specify the hash name, which is not Alfresco, which is svc.hash, the word list rocku, and then force. Now obviously we already have the password, so we can just skip through all of this, and here we see that his password is service. Now dude, that's a horrible password. Service, all lowercase, and it only has one number inside. That is really unfortunate. We were able to crack the password in less than 5 seconds, and now unfortunately we're in an account. So we're gonna use evilwinrm to log in. We know this because we saw the port 5985, and if you Google this for login, we see WinRM that we can use where is it? Give me a second. Yeah, evilwinrm comes up. So we have a bunch of tools. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, sorry. I just had to respond to something important. So yeah, we're gonna use evilwinrm to log in. We're gonna have to specify the IP and the user here real quick. So tag I, the IP, SVC Alfresco, tag you, and then it's gonna ask us for the password, and we should be good. Sorry for the little beeps. I'm getting a bunch of messages right now. So we're gonna cd back, and we're gonna cd desktop, and then we have our user flag right there. So now let's cd doesn't matter, you can go to downloads. Actually, let's go into the C drive, and then let's make the directory temp, and then let's cd into temp. Okay, and now we are here. So now one of the first things we want to do when we infiltrate and we get some initial foothold in a machine that we know that there's in that's in a Active Directory environment, right? This part of the domain, we want to use BloodHound. We want to map out the permissions of the user, and anything to just to check if we can leverage anything, you know, and eventually privilege escalator privileges. So who am I? We don't see any interesting privileges here or anything that I've searched that I can abuse. We see that he's part of service account groups and privilege IT account group, and we once again confirm that it is SVC Alfresco logged into this machine. So now, in order for us to get BloodHound working, let's first start Neo4j. Let's restart it because I think it's actually already up. Just gonna shut it down and come back up. Let's open link. And that's ifconfig tune 0. We have to give it a little bit in order to start up. And we have our BloodHound command. And besides this, we're gonna want to transfer #hound. This will collect all the information in the domain, all the users, groups, everything. So we're gonna want to host this. Let's use updog for 8000, and here we're gonna use IWR HTTP. That's not what we wanted. HTTP. Let's specify the IP for 8000. The file we want. Well, a file is not RIP. #hound, and then we're gonna just copy this, and it's gonna be out file right here, and that should work. Just give it a second. Now we can try to do. Okay, now Neo4j is stopping and restarting. Okay, so here we have #hound, and in this directory it looks like we only have #hound. Now in order to use #hound, we have this article here, domain mapping by offensive security cheat sheet by I don't know, by hacks.fr. So here it says we want to go into PowerShell. I mean, we're already in a PowerShell, and we want to import the module. So we're gonna do that real quick. We're gonna import it, and we're gonna invoke BloodHound. And then the last step is we're gonna collect all this information with tag collection method all. And then if we look into the directory, we have all these JSON files with a bunch of information. Well, they don't have information inside now, but actually they're all in the zip file that it was neatly put in there with #hound. So now let's check if Neo4j is actually up right now. Okay, great. Let's log into Neo4j. We just kept the default credentials. Okay, that's fine. And then we can start BloodHound. Well, actually, let's start BloodHound down here. BloodHound is going to log in automatically as we did click save password. And let's clear our database because we were actually working on this machine not too long ago. Okay, now the BloodHound is clear. All we have to do now is import this file into BloodHound, and in order to do that, we are going to, let me look at my notes right now. It's gonna be SMB search you. Okay, so we're gonna start an SMB server using Impacket's SMB server.py with the username en for nleak, short for nleak, and the password en. And on Windows, we're gonna use netuse what is it, RIP, which is 10.14.7, and then we're gonna do share, and we are gonna specify the user en, username, and then the password of en. Okay, so that completed successfully, and now we're gonna copy this file into that share. It's tag 7, right? Yeah. There you go. Okay. Now, we should be done now. If we check our directory, we see that we have our BloodHound zip file. Now, let's upload this data, and it should work. Great, it's uploading. Now, we can use this, and let's cancel this, and then we should be done. Gotcha. We can give that while this is complete. Okay, so our download is complete. Let's just make sure this cancels. That's fine. Okay, so now that we're here in BloodHound, we are gonna search for the user SVCL Fresco and see what permissions he has that can help us escalate privileges. So clicking on him, we see that there are 10 reachable high value targets. And this is what's cool about BloodHound. It marks and maps everything all so neatly, so you're able to see exactly what groups he's in and how we're able to touch this HackTheBox logo and eventually reach administrator. So based on this, we see that SVCL Fresco is part of this service accounts group, privileged IT accounts group, and he's also in accounts operators, and which has generic all privileges to exchange Windows permissions. So, let me see. Help. Group and is member of the group. Groups in Active Directory grant their members any privileges the group itself has. If a group has rights to another principal user, okay. So we can create a user and give it permissions that our group has, or that we give us SVCL Fresco. And after this, the members of the group account operators have generic all privileges to the exchange Windows permission. This is known as full control. The privileges allows the trustee to manipulate the target object however they wish. So we're gonna allows you to modify the group membership of the group, and then we are going to give ourselves where is it, DCSync privileges, and we are eventually going to be administrator. So in order to do this, we are going to, let me see what I wrote in my notes. Give me a second. What does BloodHound say? We're gonna keep this up right here. Yeah. The member of the group permission have permissions to modify the DACL on the domain. HackTheBox to write access to the DACL. You must grant yourself privileges to the object. To abuse write DACL to the domain object, you may grant yourself the DCSync privilege. You may need to identify to the domain controller as a member of the. Okay, so we need to first give ourselves the privilege of the exchange Windows permissions, and then we should be all good. So first, what we're gonna do is, based on this here, we have to use add domain ACL to running a process. Okay, now if we search up the add domain ACL, we see command, we see that PowerSploit mentions it, and that we're gonna need PowerView in order. This is a command in PowerView. So what we want to do real quick is we want to get power view into this machine. So let's do that real quick with updog, and we have here. Let's use this command, the last command we used, and let's power view right here. Power view, and all we have to do then is just import power view, import the module, import module, and now we should be all set. So now what we are going to do is, first we have to give ourselves this exchange windows permissions, right? So net group not all. So we have to give ourselves this exchange windows permission with net group svc alfresco / add net group. Let me see. This is not how we are doing it in our Linux machine. That is crazy. Okay, so now if we check who am I talk, we might still not see it. We probably gonna have to reset, and he is not part of the group. Okay, so if we exit and we log back in, service, and then we do this temp, and then we do who am I tick all, we see that he is now part of this exchange windows permissions group. Now based on this command, all we have to do is copy. Okay, okay, and then let's copy this into our Sublime, because it's gonna have that weird break. Right here. And then finally all we have to do now is add domain object ACL and grant ourselves that DCSync privilege. And for this we should probably change it for DC local. Okay, so now we're gonna do this, and we have an error. So another alternative we have is we can create a new user. So let's new user and leak with the password leak 12321 whatever, and we're gonna add it to the domain. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna give this user net group Windows Exchange server, and league add /add. Now let's just make sure we are still in the group at all times. Yeah, we're still in there. Okay, now we are going to do the same command we did. I'm gonna copy it straight from my notes. Wait, can't we do this here and just specify principal identity? I have not done this yet. And then need SPC alfresco. No, okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do is instead we are going to copy this command from my notes, and this in theory should work. Give me a second. Let's put it here because those weird breaks are right. DCSync. Copy. There we go. Okay. So let's import module power view one more time. And then let's do add some. Okay. And that should work. Okay. Does it work with SVC Alfresco now? No. Okay. So we were able to successfully add nleak and give him DCSync rights. Unfortunately, I don't know why it's not working with SVC Alfresco. Who am I? Stack all. Is he still in the group? Yeah, he is. Okay. Well, now that we are this user has we have DCSync privileges, we're gonna go back to Impacket, and we are gonna use secrets dump. Let's Python secrets dump, and we are going to specify all this information. Give me 1 second. And leak, and then leak 321, and then the IP is at 61. There we go. That is the password and username we created, and with this we should have administrator hash. We get way more than administrator hash. We get the hash of all the users here too. So with administrator hash, what you can do is, where is it? Right here. What we're gonna do is we're going to now exit out of here. Evil winrm user administrator, and let's specify the hash. And we are in. Who am I? And we see that we are administrator. Now if we go to desktop, tree.f, and okay, so we can do tree tag f, and wait, is it the other way, this other slash? Yep. And we see that we have root text in desktop. So that's basically the end of this walkthrough. In this walkthrough we were able to ASREPRoast in order to get a user's hash, and that's our initial foothold. We're able to use BloodHound in order to leverage those privileges that we have, specifically the Windows Exchange server permission, and to give our user DCSync privileges. I just wanted to check a little bit more about this, read a little bit more. If we read what it says here, so I'm saying, okay, to desync the password. Okay, so this is a DCSync attack. So this permission, this exchange Windows permission, allows the user to grant himself any permission it has in the domain. Yeah. And then with the account operators, we can add or give any permissions to any users that are in the same groups as us. So maybe, yeah, that's why we were able to create a user, give him any on all permissions of all the groups that we are in, or the user SVC Alfresco is in. So we were able to use BloodHound, and then we finalized with the DCSync attack in order to get administrator hash, which in turn allowed us to log in via Evil RAM. So thank you guys for watching. This was Forrest from HackTheBox, and this was probably one of my top 5 machines that I've done on HackTheBox, besides some web-based machines that I have tried. But that's about it. Thank you guys for watching.